we are very happy to have probably the most alumni who work at any building. And we absolutely love it when we have younger students who come through and they say, oh, my grandma graduated from here, my dad graduated from here. So a lot of you remember or know the old Fort Collins High School building that is off of College Avenue in Fort Collins. It now has those beautiful flower gardens in front of it. CSU owns that building now, but we are very rich in tradition at Fort Collins High School, and so you will see throughout our building and throughout our curriculum and other things, we like to pay homage to our traditions in our school. So, first of all, we're going to just cover very quickly tonight graduation requirements, course selection, and then how to fill out that course selection sheet. As I said, I'm going to present to you the rest of our counseling team, and I'll start in the upper left-hand corner. His name is Brett Fedor. He has students with last names A through C and has all students who are in the foreign exchange program. This is typically students in their junior or senior year who are coming over from another foreign country to see what American high school life is like. Next, we have Kristen Flanagan. She is a counselor for last names D through GR. She also has all of the students who are labeled in the ELD department or the English language development. Next, we have Miss Lauren Harrington. She has students with last names GS through L. My name is Anna Morris. I have students with last names M through PH. I'm also the current department chair for our department. Beth Shefsick, you say it chef-sick, chef like a cook, sick like you're ill. She has students with last names PI through SE. And then she also has all students who are identified as gifted and talented. After 9th grade, your students will choose to continue in the GT program or not if they're identified, but no matter what, 9th graders coming in, they will go with Ms. Shefsick if your student is identified as gifted and talented. Then we have Ms. Tanya Vigil. She has students with last names SF through Z. And then we have Kate Sherrill. She is our wonderful drug and alcohol counselor, and she is on a grant through the state of Colorado that we have had for a few years, and we have two more years on this round of this grant coming through. So we also have a wonderful secretary. Her name is Cami Corrales. She is bilingual, which is incredible. We have our registrar, Ms. Julie Stadjahar, our College and Career Center coordinator, Eileen Hostetter, and then we have two family liaisons, Blanca Mayel and Sylvia Martinez, who assist us with our Spanish-speaking families. So hopefully you all figured out who your student's counselor would be. A couple helpful hints and just things to kind of throw out there here at the beginning. I will talk about our bell schedule in just a minute, but we have 8-minute passing periods. There is a common lunch every single day for all students. Each student will get an individual half locker. They don't have to share it with anybody else. There is going to be a big adjustment with friends, and other just social things that they're doing. We do provide a lot of social and emotional support for that because this is one of the biggest transitions of their lives. And in our building, our halls are named after streets here in Fort Collins. So hopefully that helps with these students when they're starting to drive around town and know where they're going. Here is our current bell schedule at Fort Collins High School. Odd days are typically Mondays and Wednesdays, where students would go to period 1, period 3, a common lunch with everybody, period 5, and period 7. Even days are typically Tuesdays and Thursdays, where they would start with period 2, period 4, a common lunch with everybody, period 6, and then period 8. Fridays, I like to call them Fast Fridays. You would go through all 8 classes with a common lunch in the middle. With this screenshot that I have up here, we do show a 0 period. That is a completely optional course that students can take. Most of the courses that are offered during 0 hour are athletic weights, and freshmen typically don't take this yet. If they are participating in athletics, they would maybe take it their sophomore, junior, senior year. Or if they're in a separate music ensemble. This would could also meet before school. This is not a period you can sign up for, but if you are a band or orchestra or choir student, or you are an athlete, you could talk to your instructor or your coach, and if they want you to do this 0 hour, we can discuss that. But it is not something right now that you can select on your sheet. Everything would just be periods 1 through 8. Graduation requirements. So to graduate and earn a diploma in Poudre School District, you have to earn 240 credits. Now, many students wish that those were all going to be in art or all going to be in PE, but they are not. They are broken down into specific subject areas. 40 credits of language arts equates to 4 years of English. So that is taking and passing English every single year while in high school. 30 credits of math or computer science, 30 credits of science, 25 of social studies, 15 of wellness, 10 of a world language or world culture. So that can either be world history or a foreign language, 10 credits of a fine and applied arts, 5 of humanities, 5 of financial literacy, and 5 of economics. And then 65 of electives. Now, if you do the math and break down into how many periods we have and over how many years, 240 is the minimum, but we have students who will graduate with anywhere from 280 to even 320 credits. So we will always push students to take more because this is their time to explore and see what the world has to offer them. The next part on this screen here is the College and Career Readiness Measure. This is a newer graduation requirement for students starting seniors who are graduating this year. So not only do they have to earn this 240 credits, but they also have to show that they are college and career ready. Now, this is the menu of options basically that they can do to show that they are college and career ready. Please do not let this be a stressor to you as a parent or a stressor to your student. We at Fort Collins High School have built in one of our graduation requirements, the financial literacy course. We have built in a district capstone in that course that students have to complete. So no matter what, that's kind of our safety net and catch-all for students to meet this college. However, your student will also take the SAT exam their junior year. They might take an advanced placement course. They might do a concurrent enrollment course. So there's a variety of ways that students can show that they are college and career ready. Next, what is a credit? So a credit is what you earn from passing the class. Each semester class is worth 5 credits. So where we say language arts, you need to earn 10 credits every single year, you would get 5 credits for first semester and 5 credits for second semester. So we don't do standards-based grading in high school. We do the normal letter grades. And so a student would earn a D for anything a 59.5% and above. So grade point average or GPA. Some of your students or you as students already have your GPA. And that is because you are taking high school level courses while in middle school. Most of you, though, will come in and you will start fresh and you won't get your first GPA until the end of your first semester. So how a GPA is calculated is that with the credits, and then whatever grade you get has a certain grade point. So A's are worth 4, B's worth 3, C's worth 2, D's worth 1, F's worth 0 because you didn't pass the class. So for this student, for example, they're enrolled in 45 credits. And if you give each of those grades that they got in their course your grade point, you take that credit divided by those grade points and you get your solid GPA. Now, you will have a GPA every semester, and then you will have a cumulative GPA, and that is your running GPA, so the average of all of your courses throughout your high school career. An adjusted cumulative GPA is like a weighted GPA, And this is for any AP or concurrent enrollment college level course that if you get a A, B, or C, it gets an extra weight. So it actually multiplies that grade point by 0.002. So this is how students can get higher than a 4.0 GPA. This is just another breakdown of the credits in the subject areas. So you can see all of those graduation requirements spread out throughout their 4 years in high school. 9th grade, the minimum amount they have to take is 70. Most students will sign up for 75. 10th grade, again, it is 70. And then 11th grade, the minimum number of credits they have to sign up for is 60. Same thing with senior year, 60. So we will make sure that those 240 credits are spaced out throughout their high school career, and they're all not trying to get them all done and crammed in their 9th and 10th grade year. We want to find that perfect balance of academic rigor as well as fun elective courses. So if you all have your yellow sheet in front of you or you want to reference it, I'm just going to kind of quickly go through your options for courses here. So 9th grade language arts, we have 2 options, general 9th grade English or CP English 9. CP English 9, CP stands for college prep. Now this is a course that is going to be a little bit more advanced. It's going to go deeper into the content and it's going to move a little faster through the content. It doesn't always necessarily mean that it's, harder or more advanced, but it's just for those students who do really love English and want the challenge. Next, math I will talk about in just a moment, but that's mostly going to come from your student's current math teacher in middle school. Science, we have 2 different categories, life science and physical science. We have biology or college prep biology. And then we have geospace science, which is going to be like solar systems, stars, black holes. They do a big rocket unit at the end. Earth system science. This is going to be plate tectonics, volcanoes, oceans, that sort of thing. They also do a big watershed project. And then we have chemistry and college prep chemistry. Now with the chemistry courses, it does, you see the little asterisk with it, it does correspond to a certain math level. So to be in chemistry your 9th grade year, you also have to be taking Algebra 2. Many students love science, and if they want to double up on science their 9th grade year and take biology and geospace, or chemistry and biology if they're an advanced student, they can do that. Social studies. So we've got 4 options in this area: general world history, college prep world history ancient, AP world history modern, and then AP human geography. So AP stands for advanced placement. This is going to be a college level course, college level reading, college level assignments. I want to stress that with these courses, there's probably going to be anywhere from 6 to 10 hours of homework associated with that course per week. So this is where students really need to look at everything else that they're requesting, the level of rigor that's expected of them, and then also their extracurricular activities and what they have going on outside of school. 9th grade seminar, Lampkin Way. This is something that's not on your sheet because we are automatically going to sign every single 9th grader up for this. It's basically a kind of like an advisory or like a study hall, but it's a seminar class. And I'll talk a little bit more about specifics with that in this next slide. So that world language and culture requirement. Again, that is the world history or taking a year of a foreign language. A lot of freshmen will come in and they will do both, but maybe you are just not feeling it, you're burnt out on the Spanish that you were taking and you want to take a year off, you can do that. And then maybe you'd want to start over with a different foreign language or start over again with that first level. Maybe you're ready to continue on and you want to go to level 2 for Spanish or level 2 for French. It is really up to you. So Most students will do both. You can pick one or the other. We just need to make sure that you are getting to at least 70 to 75 credits. If you are a native Spanish speaker, we want you to sign up for Spanish Culture Explorations. No, Kristen, correct me. Foundations? Spanish Culture Foundations.
Foundations.
Yes, we changed it, sorry. Spanish Culture Foundations. That's going to get you at the base level of our native speaker pathway, and then you will progress through all the way through your senior year. Wellness. So 15 credits of wellness is required. PE1 is your basic 9th grade PE course. And since only 15 credits are required, we hope that you would sign up for that PE1 your 9th grade year and get it out of the way. PE is also an option to take over summer school. There will be a cost associated with it, but you could do it over summer school if you would want. Information about that should be out around spring break time. If you want to do a 9th grade beginning weights course, you also need to sign up for PE1. So you do one semester, one the other semester. If physical activity, PE is not really your thing and you don't like to dress out and participate in activity, you do have to do that PE1 at some point, but you could also do teen choices or nutrition and wellness, and those are 2 in-seat and classroom wellness classes. And then lastly, fine arts. So this is anything really in our music and theater department, family, consumer science, engineering, art, design and multimedia arts, computer science, and web design. So you would see those fine and applied arts courses marked in that separate column on your yellow sheet. But remember, anything that you take that is fine arts above and beyond will roll into that elective category. Okay, so Lampkin Way. As I talked about, it is not on your sheet and you can't select it. That is going to be a course that we will just automatically sign all students up for. It's going to be first semester. Some days it'll be just a study hall where you'll be able to work on your homework and study as much as you want. Other times we will have us as counselors come in and introduce ourselves, do a little talk about maybe studying strategies, time management, organization. We'll also do a little bit of career and college planning in this course. Next, they'll also have the peer counselors come in. They'll do some community building. They will talk about student wellness, as well as a lot of just FCHS specifics. So math. I said that I was going to talk about this when we got to this slide. So this flow chart, it is a little bit confusing, but I'm going to do my best to walk you through this. So if your student is currently in Math 8, they are going to enter and go into Algebra 1, Semester 1, and then Geometry A. Then they would finish out Geometry and finish out Algebra their sophomore year. The reason why we have made this change here in Poudre School District is because the concepts that are taught in Algebra 2 are pretty difficult and advanced. They wanted to really solidify their algebra skills their second semester of their sophomore year so they would be ready to roll right into Algebra 2. If your student is currently in Algebra 1 at their middle school, they will go into Geometry Semester 1 and Geometry Semester 2. Then their sophomore year, they can roll into Algebra 2. Anything below this black line here, below Algebra 2, is college level. We either offer it for concurrent enrollment or you can see that it is AP. If you have any specific questions, you can feel free to email us or ask your student's current math teacher, but we promise we will get them placed in the right spot. One thing I do want to reiterate is that if your student is in Algebra 1 or in geometry and they have been struggling with it this year, they can retake it at the high school level. They don't have to move on. They can retake it. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to click through that fast. So electives, they need 65 credits while in high school, and I promise that they will get there. So I talked about a lot, but these are the major pathways that we offer at Fort Collins High School. If you have a music student, they are going to register for the basic band, basic orchestra, basic choir. Our music teachers will then go over to the middle schools and conduct auditions. And then if your student makes it into a higher level band, orchestra, or choir, we will then adjust their course requests and make sure that they're in the appropriate level. Application courses. So any student who wants to do anything with AVID, Student Council, Yearbook, or the Bioscience Career Academy, they will need to fill out an application. This is something that is on their sheet, but they can't necessarily select it right away. We will be sending these applications to the middle schools, and they are posted on our website. So if your student wants to come that day with that application printed out and they want to physically hand it to us, they can. If they want to fill the application out online and then email it to us or email it to the teacher in charge, they can do that as well. Any other specific questions about the application classes, please feel free to throw that in the chat or email your student's counselor directly. I want to talk a little bit more about the AVID program. So AVID stands for Achievement via Individual Determination. This is a program for students who really have the desire to succeed, to finish high school strong, to take rigorous courses, and who want to go to college. Most of the time, some of these students are come from households, maybe they're first generation students, or they just don't have as much direction as they feel that they need to go to college at home. But really, this class, it becomes a little bit of a family. It's a cohort. It's an elective class that you are with these students for all 4 years of high school. And through that class time, you're going to learn a lot of organizational strategies, learning strategies, note-taking skills, really developing those critical thinking strategies of how to work through problems in your students' academic courses. It is so much fun to walk into these courses and see these students teaching each other U.S. history, teaching each other chemistry. I absolutely love it. It just warms my heart. Okay, so college credit while in high school. You will notice on the course registration sheet, anything that has the FRCC logo next to it, most of them are on the back. That is a course that is offered for college credit. Now, they do not go to the Front Range Community College campus. They take it at Fort Collins High School, and it's taught for high school and college credit by our teachers. It will really explode come their 12th grade year. So you have your yellow sheet that has your course selections on it. But then here's 12th grade, for example. It is full of courses. So after 9th grade year, there's lots more options to take and lots more concurrent and AP options. But 9th grade year, we try and keep it a little bit smaller. They have options as college prep, English 9, college prep biology, college prep chemistry, college prep world history ancient, AP world history modern, AP human geography, AP computer science principles, and AP computer science A. Now, your student does not need to sign up for all AP or all college prep. One thing that we love at Fort Collins High School is that these are always choice classes. If they love English, then yes, sign up for that college prep English. If they're very strong in the math and sciences, go for the CPs of the sciences or double up on the sciences. You can pick and choose in content areas with the college prep and the AP. You don't have to take them all. So graduation credit for middle school classes. Any of these courses that are shown up here in this table, if your student is taking them in middle school, they will come to high school with high school credit for those courses. If your student is maybe not doing the greatest in those courses, you would want to potentially consider opting out of that course. This is the only time in high school that students can modify their transcript. After their 9th grade year, they can no longer remove or alter classes that are on their transcript. So if they decide to opt out of a course, they are removing it from their transcript completely. So it's looking like they never took the course. So the credit goes away and it's not calculated in their GPA. If you have any questions about this, again, you can email your student counselor or our registrar, Miss Julie Stachahar. So picking your classes. We try and make most of the course titles pretty self-explanatory. However, it's always really good to read about the course description so you know what you're signing up for. If you go to the Fort Collins High School website, on the drop-down of support services, counseling, and then course catalog, you'll be able to view all of the courses that we offer by category. Thank you, Kristen. I just saw that she dropped the link in the chat. So those are all separated by program. They're all hyperlinks. And so you can just click on that area and then you will see all of the lists of courses that are offered in that subject area. When you look up that course, you will see the 4-digit course ID, the title, the amount of credits, what grade levels it's for, if there's any prerequisites, and then also if there's any fees associated. One thing that I do want to mention about course fees is that those will typically be due at the very beginning of the school year during the check-in times. However, we never want a course fee to be a hindrance for a student for signing up for a course. So if there is a concern regarding a course fee for a course that your student wants to take, please reach out to us and we will see what we can do to assist you with that. So how to pick your courses? Really, it's as simple as just circling it on your sheet. You can go ahead and start with a pencil and start to look through all those classes and circle, but then when you have solidified what courses you want to take, hit it with a highlighter, hit it with a star next to it, something like that, so that we as counselors know that that is the course that you do want to take. You're going to need to pay attention to the credit amount because you have to do the math and it needs to add up to at least 70, if not 75 credits that you're signing up for. It doesn't mean that you have to pick a course from every single box, but you definitely want to get your 4 cores in there and then the rest can be electives. With freshmen, we don't really change your schedule too much. So you need to pick your classes and take it seriously now because there's not very many reasons why we would change your schedule. A valid reason for a schedule change would be maybe if you signed up for a class and it didn't end up being offered, or your counselor, like me, messed up and put you in both of your math classes first semester. That's a reason why we would do a schedule change. Other than that, we can't necessarily change your schedule for transportation or to get you a class with a specific teacher or class with friends. We have over 2,000 students in our building, and we have to offer our classes when they're offered and make sure that you're in everything you need for graduation. So on your course selection sheet, you will also see that there are a few areas that will need teacher signature. If you are signing up for anything that is a college prep, all of your math, any AP, and then your world language. We want your current teachers in these content areas to sign off on those. I do know that we have at Lesher a teacher in the, I think, English or social studies area that is out on maternity leave. And so we will, from Lesher, take the signature just from one of those teachers, either English or social studies, just so you know. Then we also want you to sign up for at least 3 to 4 alternate courses. So this is just in case your first choice of courses don't get solidified or put in your schedule, or maybe there was some scheduling conflict somewhere. We want you to have some other options of courses that we could put you in. Then also on the back, you will see that we would like, oh goodness, it's not going to show up, a parent and student signature. And then in the very front, you don't have to fill this out, but we would love it. And it's a conversation starter that we can have with you while we pick up your registration sheets. Your ICAP plan, so your career interest, what you think you maybe want to do after high school, and something fun about you, so we can just learn about you a little bit more before you become Lambkins. So what do you do next? So much information, right? So Fort Collins High School counselors will be visiting middle schools next week to pick up these course registration sheets. And so you can see here that February 22nd, we will be at Lesher. 23rd, we will be at Lincoln Weber and possibly St. Joe's. February 24th, we'll be at Preston and Blevins. And then February 25th, we will be at Bolt, CLP Middle School, Kennard Middle School, and Wellington. Your course request will be entered by your counselor, so all you need to do is fill out that sheet and turn it in. If you are, you know that you're going to be gone that day, please hand it in to your counselor at your middle school before you leave, or you can email a copy to your current counselor or your counselor at Fort Collins High School. We want you to turn in your sheet so you pick your classes. You see this Why Me, turn in your sheet bubble on the screen here. A Why Me schedule is when students don't turn in their sheet and don't pick their classes. We give them what's called a Why Me schedule, which is where counselors pick their classes for you. So don't be oh, why me? Turn in your sheet, pick your classes. So we will see you soon. We're hoping to have you all as 8th graders over to Fort Collins High School sometime in late April or the beginning of May. Pay attention for those dates and those permission slips to come home. Tentative check-in days are August 11th and 12th. This is when you will come in, pick up your schedule, get your picture taken, get your student ID, pay your fees, and a couple other logistics that day. And then the first day of school for 9th graders is going to be August 15th. This is all just 9th graders. You're going to come in, you're going to get put into little small groups. You will get a tour of the school, do some really fun activities, meet new friends, and then you're going to go through a mini schedule during your day. So you'll be able to find exactly where your classes are, see who your teachers are. It's a really great day. I just love the energy in the building that's that day. So all of that information will be sent out in our summer newsletter, and then it will also be posted on our website. So tips for success for our freshmen that are incoming. Attend your class. Go every single day. We do have an open campus at Fort Collins High School, but that doesn't mean that you should be off campus all the time. There is going to be homework outside of class every single day. So make sure that you are using your assignment notebook or your planner, and you're really using those skills that you've developed in middle school to stay organized and know when you have homework and when it needs to be turned in. Use your peers, use your teachers, use the tutoring resources, use your counselors. If you have questions, please ask and get involved. We have so many different clubs and activities, athletics, music, an amazing theater department. Find something else other than just classes to get involved in at Fort Collins High School. I promise you it will make your experience that much richer. So at this point, I'm going to turn off the presentation and we're going to open it up for questions. We'll probably spend about 10 to 15 minutes. And if there's anything that you want to talk about privately with your student's counselor, please feel free to reach out to us via email or phone. Our contact information is listed on the Fort Collins High School website. Or you can certainly reach out to your student's middle school counselor as well. As I exit out of this presentation here, I also want to introduce briefly Miss Tanya Behill. She's another one of our counselors who hopped on. So Tanya, if you could quickly wave or just say hello.
Hi, everybody. Welcome, and thank you for joining us this evening.
Okay, so if you want to use the raise your hand feature. We can call on people if you have questions, or you can certainly just pop it in the chat and we can answer it out loud. Are there still counselor meetings on February 21st? No. Oh, counselor meetings, sorry, on February 21st are for our school of choice students who are coming from anything like Ridgeview, Liberty, Mountain Sage, St. Joseph's. You can come that day as well. So we will be in the building in the Library Technology Center from 9 a.m. to 11, and we ask that you come in with your course sheet ready to go, and we'll sit down and meet with you one-on-one.
I see a question in the chat. If my student takes a CP course and discovers it's too challenging, can they transfer into a standard class? In general, we say that's most unlikely. The problem is that we base our staffing off the number of classes you choose. And so there may not be room in the gen ed offerings for that class. And some classes don't have an equivalent. So for instance, like CP, or if you take AP Human Geography, there isn't a 9th grade level geography class that we could move you into. And so with that, we really want you guys to really give it a good thought about what classes would be appropriate.
I see a question from Eric about, is student council only an option going into 10th grade? No. Your students will be receiving information at their middle schools about how to interview and run for office for student council in 9th grade. That information should probably be coming out in the beginning of March. So if they want to do student council, they will fill out that application, have an interview with our current student council sponsors, and then if they make it, we will add it to that student schedule. Oh,
and
yes, Chelsea. Sorry,
Oh.
I see what Chelsea's talking about. 8th grade transition night, where we meet teachers, learn about parent athletic clubs, sports, etc. Yes. So that is something that I hope will happen, those transition days, when the 8th graders will be able to come over and we'll just kind of have like a club rush type of thing, meet some teachers. But I know that that's a very important night for a lot of students. So let me bring that back to our admin team as well to see if there's another night that now that we can do more in person, that we can get that on the calendar. Thank you for that suggestion. How does 0 hour work with the bus schedule? It does not. So that's why 0 hour is a opt-in type of course that they have to have their own transportation. And again, there are only about 2 to 3 courses that are during 0 hour. And that is a course that you can opt into if your student has transportation.
And with that, the regular start time is 9 o'clock, and that's when all the busing will have your student to the school by. Jerry, you have your hand up. Well, you're muted, so we can't hear you.
Okay, now I'm muted. Okay, I'm Jerry. So first of all, how do I access the chat function? I don't see it on my screen here.
It should be at the top in a little bubble with lines in it.
Okay. Well, I don't see it, but so can I just ask you my questions?
Yes.
I have a couple, if that's okay. So how many college prep / AP courses would be advisable for incoming freshman who's at Kennard and has taken some rigorous courses?
That is really up to you and your student to talk about and decide together. On the 8th grade transition website, we do have a breakdown of it will give you like English 9 versus CP English 9, and so you can see the differences, as well as all of the social studies offerings with a deeper description on the content and what they're going to do.
Okay.
Like I said before, you really want to look at that time management and how much time your student will be spending outside of school doing homework, and if they have any other extracurriculars that will take up that time.
Okay, and if I may ask more questions, and if you want to cut me off. Okay, so in social studies, I saw that with the AP Human Geography, it recommended for freshmen maybe world history. Is that world history as opposed to world history ancient, or any one of those 3 world histories?
Any one of those 3.
Okay, because he's really interested in that AP human geography or CP ancient. So we'll choose between those. Okay.
In that AP Human Geography, he could also take his sophomore year. So if they want to take, the history class their 9th grade year, they can take the AP Human Geography class their sophomore year, and vice versa.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. And then with world languages, he's taking French 1 now. Would he sign up for French 2?
Correct.
If
As
he's
long as he's in French 1B right now, he would go into French 2.
French 1B?
Yes.
Okay. And then the content teacher signatures. Does he go around to each teacher at school?
At Kennard, yes.
He'll do that himself. He'll do that. Okay. Is that all?
That's it.
That's it. Thank you. Thanks for
You're
listening.
very welcome. Thank you.
There's a question about for chemistry, it says it's required to take algebra 2, but they're in geometry this year. Then yes, you can take algebra 2 concurrently with chemistry.
Correct. Missed what we said about student council. No worries. So students should pick the 75 credits for student council. And then if they apply and are elected into student council for their 9th grade year, we will then back out 2 of their elective classes and put student council in its place. And so they can mark that on their sheet, or when they sit down and have a conversation with us, and we can jot it down. Or a lot of times I will email my student directly and say, hey, congratulations, you made it into student council. I need to adjust your schedule. What 2 electives are you okay with, removing from your schedule? And we can do it that way.
There's a question about Mind Center, and as you guys see, it's on the bottom corner, and it says that there's a counselor recommendation. Mind Center is a class that helps design, it's designed to help kids gain some better understanding of study skills and give them a little bit more teach them more responsibility on how to be a successful student. So if your student's already a successful student, they know how to check email, do homework, they just need time, I wouldn't recommend Mind Center. But if your student doesn't know how to do that, they need help with organization, they need to learn how to email a teacher, and they need that kind of guidance to be a more successful student, I would have them talk to their counselor and get a recommendation for Mind Center. It does count as elective credit, and it does add into that total credit count of 75 credits. And freshmen can take it. Sorry, I stumbled my words a lot on that one. Keep it coming with the questions. Great, great questions. Isabel just raised her hand.
We have a question about who Isabel's counselor is because she's got a hyphenated last name. So do you go by the first portion of her last name or the final portion?
The first
Yes.
last name. So if it's based on your last name, I think she'd have Vigil is the lucky winner.
Okay, that's what we need to know. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Choice will be coming up to 21. Does he need to have his A3 content teacher? So school of choice students, if you're coming on the 21st, we know that that's a really tight window to try and ask you to do that tomorrow. So if it doesn't happen, we understand. We just want to make sure that you know what you're signing up for and that your student is at the correct academic level to be into those courses. Is it possible to take a placement test for a language? Not currently enrolled, but we are in immersion school previously. Yes. And it's not necessarily a placement test, but it's going to be a conversation between you, your student, and probably the department chair or that specific teacher of that foreign language, just to see what you know and how far you are and where those skills are, just to see what level you need to be placed into.
Pet band is an additional 6 credits, so band would equate to 16. We wouldn't calculate that 6 credits into the total credit count because it is an after-school opportunity. So it's kind of in addition to that 75. So that's why if you see on the sheet, it has a little asterisk or a tilde or whatever you want to call it. So I would not calculate the pep band, that 6 credits, into the total credit count, but they do get credit for it because it is, as I said, an after-school activity.
And Adrian, I see that you're asking for the link for comparing the college prep English versus English. I'm looking for that right now, and I will post it in the chat.
I just posted it in the chat because I'm that amazing. Can one opt out of PE participating in sports? Yes and no. There is such thing as a sports waiver. So if your student is participating in sports, they can get a waiver. What it does is it just waives the wellness requirement. It does not give credit. With that, it only offers 2.5 credit once per sport. So if you play football all 4 years, you can only get it waived once for 2.5. Now, if you do the math, we don't offer a 2.5 credit class, so it really doesn't benefit you unless you're a 2-sport athlete. So if you do football and soccer, great. Then you could do both of those and get a total of 5 credits waived for wellness. There is a max of 5 credits, and it has to be completed the semester your student does the activity. There is a form that you do need to complete, so just see your counselor and we can talk more details.
Can a student get the 2.5 credits as an athlete in addition to the standard credits? Yes, they can, but I always tell my students, if you like PE and you want to take PE, just still take it, and there's no need for you to waive the credit.
With that, you'll also notice a lot of sports like their athletes in athletic weights because it really helps build those muscles and be a better performing athlete. So although they're like, yay, I can get out of PE, not necessarily. You still your coaches are still going to ask you to take athletic weights to be a stronger athlete. And so yes and no is kind of the answer that we always give. And cheerleading, do it whatever the season or year that you're doing the cheerleading.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
But still for cheerleading, it's only 2.5. It's not 5. I know.
Isabel, you still have your hand up. Do you have? Isabel, you still have your hand up. Did you have an additional question or you forgot to lower your hand? Great questions. Keep them coming. Any more? You can either type them or raise your hand. We're rolling.
If planning to take 4 years of world language, is world history not required? Correct. You don't have to take world history if you're planning on taking 4 years of a foreign language. However, if your student is a 4-year college-bound student, you want to consider having a very well-rounded transcript and have those, a lot of those core academics in there. So college basically wants to see you going into at least level 2 or level 3 of a foreign language. Level 4 is incredible because you're getting that much more close to maybe getting a minor of a foreign language in college. Colleges also like to see 4 years of math, 4 years of English, and 4 years of social studies. So I wouldn't necessarily opt out of that world history quite yet until you really know where your student wants to apply or wants to go to college. Can I quickly review 0 hour and if 9th graders can participate? Yes, 9th graders can participate in 0 hour. However, it's not necessarily recommended. We would prefer that they take their normal school day of 9 to 4. If they really want to do the athletic weights, that 0 hour, they would need to talk to their coach at the high school, and they would need to email us or their counselor specifically to put them in that course. Again, the other 0 hour courses that are offered are things like peer counseling, which is only for juniors and seniors, and other extra music ensembles that your music teacher would let you know if your student auditioned and made it into that level of a course.
With that, in addition to the athletic weights, those are typically offered to, sorry, I'm at home with a toddler. Our athletic weights is typically available to sophomores through seniors. If your student's an athlete as a freshman, that's why we encourage them to take 9th grade weights. Just because there's a big size difference between a 9th grader and a senior. And so the class is offered slightly different. So if your athlete is like, oh yes, they want to take weights, that's when we suggest that they sign up for PE1 and beginning weights 9th grader to get them prepared for athletic weights. There was another question, if one does orchestra, can they leave at the end of first semester? Unfortunately, all the music classes, the traditional music classes, band, choir, and orchestra are year-long commitments. Obviously, there's always special circumstances, but that's something that we would like to chit chat with the director to see if we can work through those issues, because a lot of our ensembles do base their ensembles on an entire group. And so, for instance, like if you're a percussionist and you're like, oh, peace out, I'm going to drop, you know, that band is then missing a percussionist. And so, yes, there's special circumstances, but for the most part, it is a year-long commitment.
Any chance Fort Collins High School will change to a full block schedule or any other format like really like the even odd? No, we know that for next year, our bell schedule is going to stay about the same. The only thing that might change is the number of minutes in passing periods, potentially. It could maybe go down from 8 to 5, but I'm not really sure about that. We have an interim principal right now, and that is really a decision that needs to be made by the district and by our principal. And so with us hiring a new principal and coming in, we will let them make that choice. Probably within that, next school year if they do want to change our bell schedule. But as of right now, no, it's going to stay in this semi-alternating block with our Fast Fridays. Jerry, did you have another question?
I did, thank you. What is Mind Center? And if you already answered it, I'm sorry, I didn't catch it.
That's A-okay. So Mind Center is basically like a freshman study hall course. It's for students who really need to learn how to play school. They don't have very strong organizational techniques. They're, struggling with the technology on the computer, need to really beef up those social skills of how do I approach my teacher and ask for help, that sort of thing.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
But that does raise the next question. So 70 to 75 credits, but 5 of those will be the study hall one, the Lampkin Way.
Correct.
So if we want him to have 75, do we just sign up for 70 on the sign-up sheet?
No, if you want him to, if you sign up for 70, he will be registered for 75 because we're going to add that Lampkin Way in there. That means that second semester, he could have an off hour.
All right.
So that would mean he would have a hole in his schedule and he would have like a study period, a free period. If you want them to have a completely full schedule with no off periods, they need to sign up for 75 because then we're going to add that 5 credits of Lampkin Way in.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. What is the timing of the new principal getting placed and hired? Yep, the position is open now. They're accepting applications, and I believe they will start interviewing sometime in March or April.
Can you review the auditions for advanced band placement again? So for instance, for the most part, the middle school or the high school band director will reach out to the middle schools to arrange auditions. If not, I added the link to the music department and you can reach out to the band director to schedule individual auditions if they don't come to your school.
And Adrian, I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, hi. Question about the electives. You said 75, maybe 80. Can you add some additional alternatives, or is there like a max that you'll hit eventually? Because yeah, obviously we don't want to take 100 credits or something, but we could apply for more than one or more than so many.
So I want to be very clear that this is not anything that is like a first come, first serve. So the fact that we go to Lesher first on Tuesday, it doesn't mean that the Lesher students get first pick in electives. We take all of these course requests that come from your students, and then we see, okay, we need this many English 9 courses. We need this many 2-dimensional design courses. And that's also how we hire our teachers and hire our staff, right? So the absolute minimum for your freshman student is 70. because we're going to then add in that Lampkin Way automatically. That will get them to 75. And that means that they can have an off hour for second semester. The absolute max that they could take would be 80 during the school day. And that means a full schedule first semester and second semester. Now, if you have a music student who is going to be doing pep band on top of that, that means that they could earn up to 86 credits their ninth grade year. But
Okay.
again, that pep band, it's kind of an after school program, so that's how they can earn more. So 80 is like your absolute max. Those alternates that we have, those are just in case your student doesn't get into their first choice of electives, like two-dimensional design or photography or teen choices or principles of construction. We just want some extras that they would be willing to take.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, with that and us getting close to the 6:30, we'll hang out here for a few more minutes if you maybe have some other individual questions that you just didn't want to ask in front of the group. But again, feel free to email us, reach out at any time. Again, my name is Anna Morris, counselor at Fort Collins High School. We thank you so much for joining us this evening. Stay warm and have a great night.
I can play Don't Talk About Bruno song. That's going on. We don't talk about Bruno.
Who's Bruno?
Enchanto.
Oh.
There's a whole song, and I guess it's topping the charts.
Kristen, will you stop the recording, please?
No.
A quick question for you.
Yes.
Regarding the Honors Academy upper level courses, we couldn't find descriptions of those in the online course catalog. Are they available anywhere?
The GT Honors Academy,
Right.
they are in. Kristen is probably going to find it quicker than I am. Oh gosh, it's at the bottom underneath all of the categories.
For the chat.
Is that just the 8th grade gifted and talented though?
It's from the 8th grade website.
Oh, all the GT
Mhm.
stuff? Yeah, okay. So that's going to be your basic description there. And if my internet would work, I could give you the link to the further classes. If you hang on just a minute, I can paste it in the chat. Or if Kristen, if your internet is better than mine. I think it's underneath in that separate box.
What am I looking for?
All of the specific GT, the layout of what they do sophomore, junior, senior year. Those course descriptions.
I got there. Really.
You got it? Thank
Lance is, or is that
you.
Lance?
Lance has.
Yeah, hey there. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I have a question for you. I'm trying to get my daughter in the advanced English class, you know, with Mr. Schneider. I think do you guys know anything about like how to sort of pursue that request?
So just the college prep course or even beyond English 9?
Well, I think it's more like the college. So if she was pretty good with, she's good with the English literature and things like that. Like, how would we get her in a more advanced class other than just the general ninth grade English class?
So that's what
is
I
that
did. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm assuming that's available.
Yes and no. We would definitely probably connect you with our English department chair. And so you can talk with them. But also, if she really loves English, this is where she could take and should take some extra English language arts electives like journalism, basic speech, argumentation and debate, that sort of thing. So she can really enhance those skills. But typically we have just students continue with their grade level, either in the CP or the general level pathway. But if you want to connect with the English Language Arts Department chair to discuss those options, we can certainly do that for you.
Who is the chair this year, this coming
It is
year?
Aaron O'Connor and Andy Crosby.
Okay. Okay, so I'll reach out to them directly, I guess. So,
Perfect.
and then how to, as far as like I've taught her French as well. And would I reach out to the French teacher about trying to get her
Do the placement?
do the placement exam? Yeah.
Yes, so her name is Angelica Arias.
Okay.
And her contact information should be on our website as well in the World
Yeah.
Language Department. Yep, and you can reach out to her directly and maybe arrange a virtual meeting or a time that she can stop by after school or something like that to kind of do a placement test.
Okay. Are you guys, last question, are you guys involved in the Rotary, with the international exchange students?
No, we're not. We know that it happens and we get students through Rotary, like exchange students from countries, but we have not been involved at all in sending our Fort Collins High School students to other countries.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for the time tonight.
Of course. Thank you.
Yep.